saturated 2. But if I get another transite axe, I can enchant that, and then I can combine them in the anvil to get more enchantments onto my favorite axe.
Can you do it a saturated 2 and saturated 1 and make it saturated 3?
Yes, but not quite that way. If you combine 2 enchantments of the same kind, you keep the higher level enchantment, unless they are the same level, in which case you get the enchantment but 1 step higher, up to its cap.
What is the cap? Is it 4?
It varies from enchantment to enchantment. For most of the durability-based ones, it's going to be 3. And for most of the damage or mining speed-based ones, it's going to be 5.
Okay. So right now my looting is capped at 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, looting's one of the ones that caps at 3.
Okay.
Same with fortune.
Okay. Right, we are not. I think we're in Friday afternoon. We did Friday. So I think we're in Friday afternoon. Augie, that was just Bailey putting her cup down, which you don't understand. You just heard a thud. Augie, you hear me knocking? Come on, boy. 1 sec, I'll be back. Okay. King Jesus, you're amazing. Thank you, just here for your beautiful rule. I myself am having a delightful time in Revelation, where I just get to see and even when I look back in history, the power of empathy was not a thing in ancient Roman times. You either were seen as someone value if you had land, money, a royal status, and then the others. But now, generally speaking, being human means you have value as a human. And if you experience hardships, that hardships affects us deeply. We can only surmise that as seeing the value of people just being ingrained into the common conscience, which is done because of the church. Through its death and martyrdom, it brought conscience. Even though there's a lot of terrible just history of where people in the church and empires just do it terribly evil and wrong, there's still just that minority who still holds the value of the other. And that's even today. We're so blessed today because of your ruling coming here on earth. And so we pray for your ruling to keep happening. And may we be a part of it. However it means to lay down all the things that we fight for. May we just carry the cross as you have carried the cross, as we look forward to the beautiful resurrecting life, where the time when heaven truly is fully on earth. But at that time, your ruling is coming. And the violence are always coming upon it. Because sin and death, it's not going to roll over peacefully. It will fight tooth and nail. And I see that in myself. I see that in my community. May we just always be challenged. May we be challenged and stepping as you have stepped. And may we humble ourselves in the writings of the ancients. Amen. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 to 30, Friday afternoon. So God created human beings in his image. He created them in the image of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful, be numerous. We already read this part? Oh, yeah, we did. It talked about slaughtering good meat. All right. Thank you. Genesis chapter 1, verse 31 to 2, 3. Okay. And we read this. Okay. The creation story. Okay, we read that. Yep, we did that. That was about Pinocchio. Oh, we read this one too. Okay. We did this one too. Man, we were far back.
Why did I go so far back?
Okay. Finally, this is where we're at. You ready?
That's what I get.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, 25. This is it. That's it. I used the dramatic. So Yahweh God made a coma fall on the human being so that he slept. Took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. It's called splitting the atom. It actually is so interesting that he even translated it ribs because the Hebrew here just literally means side. Yahweh God built the rib that he had taken from the human being into a woman and brought her to the human being. The human being said, well, this one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. This one will be called woman, because from a man this one was taken. Hence a man leaves his father and his mother and sticks to his woman, and they become one flesh. The two of them were naked, the man and his woman, but they felt no shame. I once took part in a workshop where students produced dramatic modern versions of stories in Genesis. The one I most remember was a retelling of Genesis 1 by Julia Bolden. There were a number of neat aspects to the story. It is set in a house instead of a farm, which helps an urban person like me to identify with it. Instead of bringing animals to the man, God creates gadgets such as a washing machine. But the man wants someone who can combine all the skills of the gadgets, and when the man sees a woman, he cries out, "This is it!" All right. I am going to need to mute. Is that a ghast?
Is it making like whimpering and crying sounds?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a ghast.
Oh. I know. I'll just do this. That's the Windows button. And G is 5 over. There we go. Oh, nope, that's the server. Guess there's really no reason to mute a server.
Yeah, the server generally doesn't make noise.
It's not even showing Minecraft. The Windows default output.
Odd. Well, I guess you could go into Minecraft settings and just kill the master volume for now, and then turn it back
Yeah.
up once you're...
That's what I have to do. Which sure is, I love the mute when not focused. That's cool. Don't disconnect. Oh. Oh. I accidentally hit. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. We doing this?
Finally.
So in the story, what John Golden Gale is saying is it's kind of like a modern retelling. Is he has man in the building, and then Yahweh builds a bunch of gadgets. So a washing machine, a house, like all these things that are like modern gardening, like us industrialized, like things that help us live the day to day. But in all these modern gadgets, like he builds him a computer, he was still like just alone, needing a helper. Almost even so alone, just needing a helper. And then Yahweh brings a female or woman. Okay. Throughout Genesis 1 and 2, I have translated the word Adam as human being rather than man, because that is what the word means. And Genesis 1 and 27 is spelled out as male and female. The word will be used without the as the name Adam for the first time in Genesis 3. And in Genesis 2, the first human being, of course, is a man and not a woman. But in a sense, we do not know this yet, and neither does he. We and he are about to discover it. He becomes male as opposed to female only when there's another person who stands over against him. That more literally meaning of suitable for him, who is different from him in gender. When he sees her, he knows immediately, instinctively, this is it. She is so different from the animals. This is a person suitable for me. And now Genesis refers to him by its word for man, and to her by its word for woman. He is an Ish. She is an Ishahah. The words are nicely similar, like man and woman. Don't you like that little bit of Hebrew? Another useful aspect of Julia Bolden's modern version of the story is that it helps us see how it functioned as a historical parable. God did not literally put the first human being in a house and create the machines and bring them to him. This image depicts what God did in order to bring home its significance for an audience in our day. And this is what Genesis had been doing. God did not literally make the first one by recycling another image to the ones it has already used. Bringing the world into being was like an artist creating, like a structural engineering erecting a dome, like a potter shaping a pot, and like a construction manager manufacturing something. So remember, there's two creation accounts, and they're both historical parables. And so there's truths in it. In the parable, God did not make the woman from scratch by taking another handful of dirt and molding it, as God did with the animals. Instead, God used a part of the first human being to make the second. That draws attention to the closer relation between the man and the woman. So that's the truth, is the closer relationship. It's almost as if the woman is born from the man, as we will put it. They have the same genetic makeup, except for the elements that make for their gender differentiations. This explains the natural attraction of man and woman for each other. In the woman he marries, a man finds a missing part of himself, something that complements him. And Adam does not name the woman as he named the animals. His observation about what she will be called is more like a prophecy or an active recognition of her as who she is. While the idea of a suitable help for the first human being starts from his need of someone with whom he can have children, there are other things going on in this relationship. Procreation does not require mutual commitment. Cleaving or sticking does not refer merely to the couple's sexual union, but to mutual commitment. Ruth sticks by Naomi when Naomi returns to Bethlehem. The Judean people stick by David when there is a civil war. This fits with the man's phrase, born from my bones and flesh my flesh. It is a phrase like my own flesh and blood. Laban uses a similar expression to Jacob, and David again used it of the Judeans in the context of the civil war. It indicates a commitment emerging from an awareness of a relationship. Genesis is recognizing the extraordinary nature of the process whereby a man leaves his parents and starts a new commitment to a woman. Actually, in the Old Testament, a man does not usually do that. A woman leaves her family and joins her husband. Perhaps that is the point of the comment. In the literal sense, a man does not leave home when he marries, but brings his wife to his parents' house, or at least into a house in a cluster occupied by the extended family. That means he needs to make sure he transfers his affections and his commitments. His wife comes first now. When Genesis speaks of their becoming one in this way, it implies what happens when people get married. And English translations use the words husband and wife to describe them. Yet Genesis actually continues to describe the couple as the man and the woman, and as his woman and her man. The Hebrew words for husband and wife are ones that literally describe a husband as master or owner and a wife as someone who is owned. And the Old Testament generally does not use these words. Once more, this points away from the ideas of the man-woman relationship that suggests a hierarchical understanding or a property view of marriage. Or rather, it implies a different property view. a mutual one. A wife is her husband's, and the husband is his wife. So neither is now free to give himself or herself to someone else. So what's really cool is this here is even, and this is like, even during the time I was writing was so, what's the word? Challenging. Because remember how we read about ancient Babylon? Like we read it in Esther's story where like they write even a law of how the man is master and the woman should do whatever to please the master. But here, even from the start, it is mutual commitment, mutually owning each other. Likewise, it will be illogical to assume that the woman was secondary in significance or subordinate to the man because she was created second. In Genesis 1, the human beings are created after the animals, which hardly implies they are inferior. It will be as logical to assume that the woman is superior to the man because she is created second. Who wants the Mark 1 version of a program when the Mark 2 has been developed? 1 Timothy 2 does link the submission of women to men with the order of creation, but the New Testament's reference to the Old Testament are designed to tell us the meaning of the Old Testament text itself. Very often there are ways the Holy Spirit guides New Testament writers to use the text in relation to their own context, but they have little to do with the text's own meaning. Genesis 2 has one further comment on human origins. The picture of Adam and Eve wandering about the garden in the buff has stimulated much human imagination art as well as edifying observations about couples' need to be totally open with one another. But the implication of this note likely lies somewhere else. No other Old Testament references to people being naked concern themselves with the sexual implications of nakedness. Being naked suggests poverty, misfortune, and oppression. God expects us to share our food with the hungry, our homes with the homeless, and our clothes with the naked. Isaiah chapter 58. Adam and Eve have nothing with which to clothe themselves, but they are not ashamed. As if their nakedness implies poverty, alas, that will change. That's a very interesting view that's the first time hearing. Usually growing up, them being naked shows like this, like the state of their relationship. But and I guess in Old Testament times, being naked suggests poverty, in which they'll need Yahweh to clothe them. So Jesus takes up Genesis 2 along with Genesis 1 when asked what he thinks of divorce. He infers that the lifelong marriage of a man and woman is the ideal norm, though he recognizes that not everyone can live with this teaching. Like Moses, he recognizes the need to make allowance for human hard-heartedness. Human failure will mean marriages break down. All right. I think we talked a lot in between. Is there anything of note you want to say? Anything of note you want to say, David? All right. Radio's.
Yeah, I suppose only a note with the whole. Yeah, you recognize the whole hard-heartedness of marriages breaking down. The exception that Jesus carved out for divorce was very narrow. It was, at least in my understanding, it was only in the case of infidelity.
Yeah. Well, what's cool, what's interesting is the part that he is quoting. There's actually like two different veins of thought during Jesus' time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the certificate the hyper allowance of a man. And a man can vote a woman for almost any reason. Like if literally if she burns a toast, like that's in ancient, that was like an exception, like an actual, like a rule. If she burns a toast, you could write her certificate and to say goodbye. And there is this,
just a bread.
yeah, you see the human hardness even in the ancient times. It's a patriarchal society too, where the man owns the land, and or there's the one where there's this other vein, which was not highly regarded because it meant men were not. It took away a lot of the privilege that they thought they had. There's the other vein where, it goes with. I think you'd heard me talk about. So when in the scripture, there's this part where, and it's like there's this part where, if you go and have war, and then after war, like the you go into a town, the place you just conquered, and you see a woman that you want, that is actually actually uses here Genesis language. If you find her tov, if you find her good in the eye, and you take her, it use that tov and take.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like already you see the ancient writer making this, if you take her, as in the Garden of Eden taking, like already it's condemning this practice. But so if you tov and take her, you cannot have relations with her. You have to give her like a long time to mourn her loss.
Yep.
And then if you for some reason don't find like delight in her, and then uses that delight, the I delight again, like Genesis language,
Mhm.
then you can't sell her off to slavery. Like, and so there's this vein of like there is exception, and this is where Jesus is more leaning on. There is exception, but it needs to be like really just like for you to leave will be more for, and actually there it even like leaves like if a woman wants to leave, you know, like it has to be like terrible reasons to leave.
Mhm.
It just can't be the willy-nilly of how it is now, or even how it is during the ancient times where
It cannot be a small thing.
yeah, it has to be like it. Injustice really needs to be the reason. Like I know like a lot of, I actually like, and this is something had to work out a lot, because I know a lot of ladies who had to leave because the human was abusive, but was never well, there was never any infidelity.
Mm.
And from my understanding, there is like a man should be clinging, a man like needs to be taking care, like they own each other. The moment that a man literally drops, when a man like drops that and stops taking care of the other, like there is definitely
when he's
room.
not doing his duty as husband.
Yeah, like, and definitely like for safety, you know, I'm too many times I've heard stories where like a lady goes to the pastor or like a pastor's wife and goes, "What should I do?" And then literally says, "Go back to him." It's like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, then the abuse keeps happening. And so yeah. I was like, yeah. Well, I think this is like one of those there've been so much misunderstanding that it needs to be like, when brought up, needs to be properly hashed out and properly spoke, especially in a public manner. So thank you, David, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
All right. Bible project. Okay. All right. So we are in, say, Philippians.
Paul's letter to the Philippians. The church in Philippi was the first Jesus community Paul started in Eastern Europe, and that story is told in Acts chapter 16. Philippi was a Roman colony in ancient Macedonia. It was full of retired soldiers, and it was known for its patriotic nationalism. And so there Paul faced resistance when he was announcing Jesus as the true king of the world. And after Paul moved on from there, those who became followers of Jesus continued to suffer resistance and even persecution, but they remained a vibrant community faithful to the way of Jesus. Paul sent this letter from one of his many imprisonments, and for a very practical reason. The Philippians had sent one of their members, Epaphroditus, to take a financial gift to Paul to support him in prison. And Paul sent back this letter with Epaphroditus to say thank you and to do a whole lot more. The design of this letter doesn't develop one single idea from beginning to end like many of Paul's other letters. Rather, Paul has arranged a series of short, reflective essays or vignettes, and they all revolve around the center of gravity in this letter, which is a poem in chapter 2. It artistically retells the story of the Messiah's incarnation, his life, death, and resurrection, and exaltation. And then in each of these vignettes, Paul will take up key words or ideas from that poem to show how living as a Christian means seeing your own story as a lived expression of Jesus' story. So Paul opens the letter with a prayer of gratefulness, and he thanks God for the Philippians' generosity, for their faithfulness, and he expresses his confidence that the life-transforming work that God has begun in them will continue into greater and more beautiful expressions of faithfulness and love. And Paul then focuses on their obvious concern at the moment, which is his status in prison. Being in a Roman prison was no picnic, but it paradoxically has turned out for good to advance the good news about Jesus. So all of the Roman guards, the administrators, they all know that Paul's in prison for announcing Jesus as the risen Lord. And his imprisonment, it's inspired confidence in other Christians to talk about Jesus more openly. And Paul's optimistic that he will be released from prison, but it's possible that he could be executed. And as he reflects on it, that actually wouldn't be so bad, because for me, Paul says, life is the Messiah. And so dying would be a gain. For Paul, his life in the present and in the future, it's defined by the life and love of Jesus for him. And so if he's executed, that means he'll be present with Jesus, which would be great for him. And if he's released, well, that would mean he could keep working to start more Jesus communities, which would be better for other people. And so that's what he hopes for. And notice how his train of thought works here. Dying for Jesus is not the true sacrifice for Paul. Rather, it's staying alive to serve others. And so that's Paul's way of participating in the story of Jesus, to suffer in order to love others more than himself. Paul then turns to the Philippians, and he urges them to participate in Jesus' example by taking up this same mindset. He says, your life as citizens should be consistent with the good news about the Messiah. So these Christians in Philippi, they were living in a hotbed of Roman patriotism, but their way of life was to be shaped by another king, Jesus, and that might bring persecution. But they are not to be afraid, because suffering for being associated with Jesus, it's a way of living out the story of Jesus himself. Which leads Paul into the great poem of chapter 2. It's rich with echoes of Old Testament texts, specifically the story of Adam and his rebellion in Genesis 1 through 3, and the poems about the suffering servant in the book of Isaiah. This poem is worth committing to memory. It is a beautifully condensed version of the gospel story. So before becoming human, the Messiah pre-existed in a state of glory and equality with God. And unlike Adam, who tried to seize equality with God, the Messiah chose not to exploit his equal status for his self-advantage. Rather, he emptied himself of status. He became a human. He became a servant to all, and even more than that, he allowed himself to be humiliated. He was obedient to the Father by going to his death on a Roman execution rack. But through God's power and grace, the Messiah's shameful death has been reversed through the resurrection. And now God has highly exalted Jesus as the King of all, bestowing upon him the name that is above all names, so that all creation should recognize that Jesus the Messiah is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Now that last statement is astounding. Paul's quoting from Isaiah chapter 45. It's a passage where all creation comes to recognize the God of Israel as Lord. Paul's point here is very clear. In the crucified and risen Jesus, we discover that the one true God of Israel consists of God the Father and the Lord Jesus. And so for Paul, this poem, it expresses his convictions about who Jesus is, and it does more. It offers the example of Jesus as a way of life that his followers are to imitate. And so that's why Paul immediately goes on to tell two stories. First about Timothy, then about Epaphroditus, because they are both examples of people living out Jesus' story. So Timothy's like Jesus because he's constantly concerned for the well-being of other people more than his own. And Epaphroditus, who the Philippians sent with their gift, he ended up risking his life to serve Paul in prison. He got so sick he almost died trying to help Paul. But God had mercy on him and Paul by sparing him the loss of a friend. Paul's point here is that these are the kinds of people who are living, breathing examples of the story of Jesus, and they are worthy of imitation. Paul then turns to his own story as an example. So those Christians who had been demanding circumcision of non-Jewish Christians, remember his letter to the Galatians, these people are still stirring up trouble for Paul, and they keep reminding him of his own past, when he used to persecute Jesus' followers, when he tried to show his right standing before God by his zealous obedience to the laws of the Torah. But like Jesus, Paul has given up all of that status and privilege. He now regards all of it as filth, and the word he uses is actually much less polite. He's given it all up to become a servant, like Jesus, to participate in his suffering and sacrificial love. And he does all of it in the hope that Jesus' love will carry him through death and out the other side into resurrection. So Paul says that for followers of Jesus, their true citizenship is in heaven, which for Paul does not mean that we should all hope to get away from earth and go to heaven one day. Rather, heaven is the transcendent place where Jesus reigns as king. And he says we're eagerly awaiting our royal Savior to come from there and return here to bring his kingdom of healing justice and transforming love to bring about a new creation. Paul then challenges the Philippians to keep living out the Jesus story. He first addresses two prominent women leaders in the church who worked alongside Paul, and they're in some kind of conflict. And so Paul pleads with them to follow Jesus' example of humility, to reconcile and become unified. Paul then urges the Philippians not to give in to fear, but despite their persecution, to vent all of their emotion and their needs to God, who will give them peace. And that peace, Paul says, it comes by focusing your thoughts on what is good and true and lovely. There's always something that you could complain about, but a follower of Jesus knows that all of life is a gift and can choose to see beauty and grace in any life circumstance. Which leads Paul to his conclusion. He again thanks the Philippians for their sacrificial gift, and he wants them to know that his imprisonments, that his times of poverty, that these are not true hardships for him. They've actually become his greatest teachers, showing him that no matter his circumstances, he has learned the secret of contentment. It's simple dependence on the one who strengthens him. Paul has come to see his own suffering as a participation in the story of Jesus. The letter to the Philippians gives us a unique window into Paul's own heart and mind. He saw his entire life as a reenactment of the story of Jesus. And you can sense in this letter his close connection to Jesus, his awareness that Jesus' love and presence is closer than his own skin. And that's what gave him hope and humility in his darkest hours. And so Paul shows us that knowing Jesus is always a deeply personal, transforming encounter. And that's the kind of Jesus that Paul invites others to follow. And that's what Paul's letter to the Philippians is all about.
Oh, silly me. We're talking and that was muted. But yeah, this is one of the tattoos that if I ever get in a financial place to pay for a tattoo, I will love to get this middle part. I always love to read it. Although he exists in the nature of God. This is like beautifully like compresses like the first and second Old and New Testament beauty. Although he exists in the nature of God, he did not regard his equality with God as a thing to be exploited. Rather, he emptied himself, taking up the nature of a servant. He was born as a human and recognized as a human. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Therefore, God has highly exalted him and given him the name which is above every name, so that the name of Jesus every knee will bow in heaven, on earth, or under the earth, and every tongue will confess Jesus Messiah is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. I want this tattoo. Oh my gosh. Like, as we're reading Genesis, and we're going to see, like, taking wisdom is one to be like God. Like Eve and Adam, they want to be like the Elohim, be like the gods. And so they seize it. But here, he is, like, the nature of God. He humbles. Like, he does the opposite. He deny, like not deny it because he's still 100%, but he didn't utilize it. Like from time and time again, we can even see it's like modern day politics. The moment that you give someone power, the atom power like it's like power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like we see this even now, and here like we serve a beautiful God who had the power, who yet laid it down. And then he's just like, it makes me teary, like how he doesn't like he cheat. And so like even now, even in his power, he is just sharing the life, and then his calling had followed to be a life and accept, like this is how the heaven and earth rules. Oh, this is so good. Were you able to watch any of that, David? All right. I'll take the silence. All right, my friend. We talked enough. We can start. All right. Let's unmute this. Let's say we also have resources, so if you need help. Okay. It almost looks like you should like, it just looks like gloom and like despair, doesn't it? Hope I want to go this way. Now I see not fall off.
All right. And once again, I return.
Oh, welcome back. It's crazy, like, in the game you can make it, like, in the game that's literally just blocks how, like, things can look so intense. When you make, like, just, like, a single row, like, kind of like in, Lord of the Rings, where they're leaving the mines. Oh, I see I'm low. Am I sprinting? I ran low on food.
Oops. I can't think.
Ender here?
Yeah.
There should be.
Go
I figure out there's a lot of enders that just spawn in these forest areas. Like a
steal these beds and relocate them down here so that the villagers relocate in turn.
Okay, where did he go? Where did he go? Okay, I hit you. Teleport to me. Where did he go? We're enemies. Let's go. Darn it. I wanted your loot.
Hey, you're messing with the order!
There you are.
Order! Fight me!
I want your muscles. Your ribs. This is like, you like embraced a Hannibal once you put chest cavity on.
It is a fundamentally rather morbid mod, yes.
Well, my gosh, I have like a. It's so funny. I have like a like I could just go under the ground, you know. And here I am just fighting them in open air and just taking all the teleportation hits. Oh, there's another one. Two of them. Ooh. A challenge. Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Man, those ender guys hit hard even when you have some extra defense because you cavitied yourself.
One thing I'm considering doing once I yeah, I'm gonna have to get a good damage enchantment onto my crossbow. Yeah, is yeah, optimizing my muscles for speed over strength.
Okay.
And then putting some yeah, some extra defense in there. Just totally forsaking actual hitting damage.
Yeah. So because I was guessing crossbow does not go off swinging damage,
No,
so it's its own numbers. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So
That's the way I'm planning on approaching things.
That's-
Now,
that's a good
admittedly,
strat.
you could get it. Yeah, it works. Yeah. And I would do it mostly because I kind of value the utility of being able to move around and take hits better over just being able to hit for big numbers.
Yeah. Because generally speaking, you could always just find cover and take your shots.
If you gotta. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you could choose to optimize for strength, and it's very possible to get to the point where you're one-shotting most enemies with an axe.
Hmm. All right.
Wait.
Let's embrace the.
Let's say there are multiple viable builds.
I see. So that's why. What happened to my crossbow? Oh. Okay. Now I'm starting to see the water pane. Just do a little accidental walk in your little waterfall around the enchantment table.
Oops.
Nothing's here.
Just a little bit of pain.
All right. So
Just
theoretically.
a little bit of melting between friends.
So theoretically.
Okay. So I've got a Fletcher that I can trade with. So
They're telling me that I can now enchant my other Batet sword and then make them. So
then you
with
can
saturated
image
and
fusion.
looting, would they combine?
are they in the same bucket? What purpose does each one serve?
What is saturated? What does that do?
Saturated makes it so that whenever the tool would lose durability, if you are full hunger, it takes from your saturation meter instead. The higher the level, the less saturation it takes.
Oh, I see. So I see. It takes a little bit of health, not
Bit of
actual
hunger,
health,
but yes.
But the thing I use to get health, it takes stuff from that.
Yep. Eats your hunger meter instead of its durability.
I see.
But if you are missing, if your hunger meter is at all empty, saturated just doesn't work.
I'm gonna see. Okay. Oh, maintenance charms. I see. So maintenance charms is something you can't enchant on the enchanting table.
Not directly, no.
Okay. So do I put a book in there now if I wanna?
That would do the trick. Yes.
Okay. So that's how you enchant a book is you put it on the enchanting table.
Yes.
Okay. Type in book. Do it the first time, and then I'll feel confident using resources. Okay, so I want a written book. Okay.
No, you just want a book.
Just want a book. Okay. Book and quill, or just book.
Just a book.
Okay. Okay, I have leather. All right. How do I make? Okay, so sugar cane is for paper.
And sugar. Basically, if you put it in a row, you get paper. If you put it individually, you get sugar.
I see. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna. So, actually, I'll just hide. I'm gonna hide in your house, Car. I should be safe from rain, and I should be safe in there. I'll be back.
To my understanding, our home is in a biome that doesn't actually rain,
Huh.
which is useful when we have people running around with organs.
That's actually a funny, like, just happenstance. You know? Like, I don't know if that was planned on your end, but
It was. I'm not the one who chose where to settle.
that's a funny.
Sure was.
You picked a great spot for us. Back, 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 back.
Oh no, he's back.
So I've asked the group on Discord. You don't mind when you have a moment, you put your opinion on there,
Okay.
as you know it. I'm more leaning towards whatever is as long as let's do it. If everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. Okay, right. So after so I imagine this thing back here is sugarcane. Okay. Also, I'm gonna make a book.
Yes, the reason to farm are sugarcane.
And do I just plant sugar?
Yeah, with sugarcane, generally you want to break the middle block because otherwise you're gonna have to replant the base one.
I
But-
see. Okay. Not according to Charlie. I'm not according to David. According to David, I can after I make a book, I take the book to the enchanter, and then with that, I could then like make an enchanted book to enchant my stuff with.
As far as things, you think it works a different way?
He says not true. You have to find it.
No. Well, there are enchantments that you gotta find it. Enchanting books is definitely something you can do. Generally, enchantments that allow the tool to repair itself are in the treasure pool.
Okay.
And then I've also added storied to the treasure pool because I don't know, just didn't seem like one that should be in the enchanting table pool.
Is that the one that you kill things, get experience?
The one where using the tool automatically causes it to enchant itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I don't need gold. Oh, silly goose me! I'm putting my gold in my food. No, yes. Oh, that's lust. Do you need lapis? I have a bunch of lapis if you would like some. This is like something you didn't know, and then you're like, what? All right, I imagine, I have no reason to make sugar, so I guess I'll put that in my crafting. Okay, go ahead. Oh, please. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. No, I have collected a lot. And so as long as you're just not like shoving in your inventory and saying, I'll save this for another time, like you're cool, man. I also have batet if you want to make batet weapons and things. Like, I'm actually going to put my pickaxe there because I would rather be upgrading my diamond pickaxe for obvious reasons. All right. Oh, I came here to grab leather. Yes, I have tons of leather. All right. So with this, I should be able to make a bunch of books. And this is, oh wait, so I first got to make a bunch of paper. Yes. Right. Sugarcane.
Sticks.
Okay.
Trading sticks for
There we go.
emeralds.
Okay, leather and then paper. Okay, book. So I made 19 books. Should I be adding books to, if I find books, should I be adding it to the enchanting table, or is that just you've already maxed it out?
It's already maxed out.
Okay. How do you know when it's maxed out?
It doesn't give a terribly good indication, but once the third enchantment is requiring level 30,
Oh,
then
okay.
then it's maxed out.
Then he done good. Okay. All right. Unbreaking, level 3. I should put that in my pickaxe, right? That sounds like a good one. Makes so like it has longer durability or literally can't be broken.
Unbreaking makes it so that whenever the tool would take damage, there's a yeah, one. Well, there's an n over n plus 1 chance that the damage loss is negated. Well, that the durability loss is negated.
That sounds really good on the pickaxe.
So, Unbreaking 1 makes it so that half of durability is protected. Unbreaking 3 makes it so that 3/4 of it is protected. So you only take a quarter of the damage.
Oh, nice. All right, buffered. Ooh, now it's giving me buffered for this Patet sword.
I like buffered on swords because swords tend to be used like 2 to 6 times in rapid succession.
And what does
Yeah,
buffer
and-
do, actually?
Buffered makes it that you get 2 layers of buffer on the weapon for each level. Whenever you would lose durability, it is taken from buffer first.
Okay.
Your buffer will regenerate over the course of 12 seconds.
Okay, how do I know? Because right now my main one has looting 3. How do I know if it's taking the same section or not?
There's no direct indication, but all the compatibility is sorted by category.
Okay.
So anything that affects how many drops you get is going to be incompatible with each other. Anything that mitigates incoming durability loss will be incompatible with each other, and so on.
Okay, so I can still add a damage buff if I
Correct, because neither of those 2 effects are a damage
Okay,
effect.
so it's literally most likely like and kind of thing. Okay.
Yep. Spellbound is specifically designed that way to just provide more alternatives.
Okay. Saturated? I think you told me. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's an unbreaking type effect.
Okay. Yeah, my crossbow does not take enough durability. Or that matters. But why not? I'll do buffering on it.
I mean, even a smidgen of buffering is enough to make a crossbow or bow effectively immortal, because they just don't burn their durability very fast.
Yeah.
Dang it. The farmer got a melon trade, not a pumpkin trade. Pumpkins are what I have easy access to right now.
Okay, Bane of a arthropod, so I do more damage against
Spiders.
spiders.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spiders, cave spiders, silverfish, though that last one hardly matters.
Oh, it just
I
gave me.
think it also increases damage against blazes, but still pretty niche.
Is there any way to like shuffle the options?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Though you can cycle between various pieces of equipment until you find something worthwhile.
Okay.
Or failing that, you could like do a base tier enchantment on a book.
That's what I was trying. Like right now, it's like for the level 3, it's just Bane of arthropods, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm not fighting enough against spiders. So that's
It is a very large damage increase. Like 2 hearts for the first level and another heart for each level after that. But well, like you said, you don't fight enough spiders.
yeah,
Smite is sometimes worth it because there are a lot of undead.
yeah.
But
Makes sense. Fire resistance. Oh, potions of fire resistance. That's right. I think you gave me some a while ago. Oh yeah, I want to rename my charms. That's right. So I can know what's proper for overworld and what's proper for the nether and what's proper for overworld. Can we, let me look here. Nope. So I need to find an anvil. Do I have enough iron to make an anvil? Hey, Chard. Oh, I do have. How much iron does it make an anvil? Is it 31? Right? Oh, there's actually one in the enchant room. Oh, cool. Is it like
a convenient place to keep it.
that's funny.
Oh,
I just never saw the enchantment up here until the anvil up here in the enchantment room until I was told it's in there. All right.
And it is kind of staring you in the face.
Yeah. Is the the is that like lust and I don't know what the purple one are those are those there just for looks?
The stuff in the ceiling.
Yeah. Or do they
Yeah.
add? Okay, they're just there for looks. Okay.
Yep, they're just pretty.
Okay, so here I just rename it. Oh, it takes an enchantment cost to rename. Huh. Okay, nether save. Okay. Whew. I like that. And I only need to name one. That's another one, so I'll just do that. Oh, let me check my inventory.
No. Well, I've got that Fletcher. Maybe I should buy some arrows.
So
off
since this
him.
is my first time enchanting armor, is there like a certain piece and a certain enchantment that is just like amazing to have?
Amazing, not really, but for convenience sake, if you see Aqua Affinity or Respirate, well, actually, you have water breathing through organs. So if you see Aqua Affinity on your helmet, that removes the mining penalty for being underwater.
Okay. What about grace?
Grace is a protection type enchantment. Rather than directly reducing damage, it extends the length of your iframes. So you
Oh.
can't take hits in rapid succession.
Red alert.
Red Alert, another protection effect. It gives you shields that the first time you would be damaged, a shield is popped instead.
Okay.
The shields come back over time, but not very quickly unless you have high levels of Red Alert.
Ooh.
Additional layers give you more shields.
Fire protection level 4.
Fire protection is per the baseline protection enchants, but for specific effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, Fire Prod 4 is the equivalent of protection 8, but only against fire.
Okay.
What?
Which is a 32% damage reduction. Protection stacks up to 20, so 80% DR against any particular effect.
Okay.
Though that's the max level of any of the prots. It's 4. You can only get general protection up to 64%.
Okay. That would make me more fire durability. But then at the
Yeah.
point, I feel like grace, iframes is iframes, man. Level
That's
4.
true.
And
So-
level 4 is the max, right?
Correct.
Okay, so should I get red alert, which is the bubble, right?
Yep.
If-
Red Alert is best against single catastrophic injuries, like falling to your death or getting creepered.
Okay.
It is not. It is utter trash when used against stuff like burning to death.
That makes sense. So that when I'm exploring, that will save me some fall damage. That's actually really good.
Mhm.
I'll take red alert for now, and I'll get iframes later.
All
Heck
right.
yeah. Heck yeah. I feel like I'm going up in the world. I'm going places.
Yeah. One thing I tried to do with the various enchantments in Spellbound is I tried to make it so that you don't feel the need to fully commit to one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because one issue with protection is that it's fairly all or nothing. It's almost worthless having just a couple points of protection, but it's really good once you have a full set because 64% DR. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas with the various spellbound enchantments, they reach a similar level of defense that they're at full stacks, like 4 bubbles of red alert coming back pretty fast, or flesh wound giving you gobs and gobs of absorption health, whenever you take damage. Like they're all quite good at keeping you alive. at full stacks. But even at very few stacks, they still are at least worth having.
Mm-hmm.
So like a single pip of Red Alert 1, it's not going to come back in combat time, but it's still going to negate the first hit of any encounter.
Yeah.
And-
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like if I take fall damage, like if I fall like an awful high amount, that's gonna be hard to
Red-
recover.
Yeah, Red Alert is excellent in that scenario. Even that single pip's going to do the trick.
Yeah, is that will just block me. Just that is just. But you can't. It sounds like you can't dodge fall damage. So can't just grace out of fall damage unless.
No, Grace wouldn't really help there because Grace is useful against consecutive blows.
Yeah. There's a new buff though, just a flat chance of dodging any amount of damage.
I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't want to use that one because
Mm.
that sounds terribly unreliable.
Mm.
Yeah, imagine you get used to having that. A creeper explodes near you, you're expecting to dodge it. No, you just die.
I actually do like those if I'm being like just like a flat chance of just dodging any and everything.
Well, fair enough, I suppose. I guess mixed with doing a bit of mix and match, so that you're not relying just on the dodge.
Yeah.
It would be more tolerable.
I mean, like if it takes one section, like.
Yeah. And I suppose following my usual pattern, with a total of 16 levels, you'd want to get it up to about a 66% dodge chance. Actually, I suppose I just might as well follow the protection pattern. 4% dodge chance per rank. Yeah. Stacking additively.
Mm-hmm. All right. Turns out you get mountains of gold nuggets when you explore.
When you explore the nether? Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a crafting bench on you, you can squish them together into ingots. That'll make them a lot more compact.
All right. Is there any way, like, I have all of them in any way just to make it an even number across the board?
Yeah, so you can only do it with one stack at a time.
Oh.
If you pick out the thing and then you click and drag.
Yeah, I was doing that one stack at a time. It's kind of hard when you have multiple stacks,
Yeah. Alternatively, if you know how many full stacks you have, you can do some quick mental math and like, if you have 3 stacks, you can split each over 3 slots. Yeah, if you have 2 stacks and change, you could split 2 of them over 4, and then stick the change in the middle. Stuff like that. Or set of 5 instead of 4 and have a bit left over. But
Dang, 30 stacks of gold later. Those gold nuggets do actually start adding up.
they do.
Now I just gotta wait for. I imagine the fastest way to get my Batet sword, this one with a buff, is just make another one. I have the resources and just combining a blank with it.
Yep.
And it has to be fully repaired, right, to get the buffs together?
Nope.
No?
In fact, yeah,
Okay.
it's totally fine if they're damaged. In fact, they will combine their durability when you do that.
So
It will cost a couple extra levels, though.
So right now, I'm looking here, and it just says Batet sword after crafting. That's just what it says.
If you're doing it at the crafting bench, you'll lose your enchantments. You need to do the anvil if you want to.
Oh, you do it
combine
at the
enchantments.
anvil. Okay. Okay. Woohoo! Good thing I asked.
Ooh, and I accidentally shot. Right, put away
What
that
happened-
crossbow.
What happened to
You
your
don't want to.
It was here.
Did it break? Unfortunately, anvils do have a chance of getting damaged whenever they're used. And
Oh,
once they get damaged 3 times, crunch.
okay. So renaming it was that one-time damage. Okay.
But oh well, it happens.
Yep. That
They'll
was my.
just need a new anvil.
Yep. All right. I'll go get right on that. All right. Look up anvil.
Welcome, Justin,
Hey, Houston.
to your doom. I mean,
Oh,
Hey, you
oh
friend.
no, my doom. Doing well. I just got back home.
I'll make
So-
it quick.
How's everyone doing today so far?
Doing pretty well.
Alive.
I'm learning a lot about enchanting because I have friendly neighborhood explainer.
Oh, so what did you learn?
Everything. I knew nothing
how
about.
how to enchant. Yeah, how enchantments are split into categories, and enchantments from the same category are incompatible. Stuff like that.
See, that
It's
does remind me,
interesting
I
that
need
you
to go
can
back-
make golem pieces just at the crafting table for your chest.
Um, the golem bits are somewhat unique in that they're craftable. Of course, it costs a lot of iron to do it that way.
Yeah.
You can alternatively make an iron golem and then kill it with a surgical or looting weapon. I think the math works out so that's a little bit more cost efficient.
HR. Can I don't have enough iron to make another anvil. I'm like missing like 3. I have 31. Can I have a
Wait.
couple?
Why do you need so many anvils?
Well,
The anvil in the enchanting room broke.
Ah, okay.
it's funny because I just use it just to rename something. All
Yeah.
right, can
Where are you, David?
I am far, far away right now. I was about to start my journey back, but then I came across a town that had a
Thank you.
librarian
That
of
should be-
Unbreaking 3.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Ooh.
So I've
Were you
temporarily
able to
settled
collect
here.
many? Okay.
I've temporarily settled here to do so. I just got enough emeralds built up to purchase a second.
How many do you have? How many do they have? Or
It's a
no,
librarian.
how far away are you? I should-
Far. Far.
We get to start making our way towards you in the nether.
'Cause
It
I
would be
started
several
setting up
thousand
the
blocks
base.
in the nether.
I need the iron doors, beds.
So
and I
3
can
blocks of
bare bones
iron.
it.
Then
Honestly, my plan is just to try to stock up on a bunch of these and then come home and dump a pile of them into the chest at the enchanting table.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because Unbreaking is tremendously.
Oh yeah.
all right.
It is kind of hilarious how slowly the librarians get experience though.
All right, so that plus that. All right, it
Farmers.
takes 6 enchantment costs. Looting and buffering. All right. I see. Okay, so
So each time you do an anvil operation other than just renaming, it adds a stack of prior use penalty to the tool, which just means that further anvilings are going to cost a bit more.
on the same weapon kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
If you combine multiple things that have prior use penalty, it takes whichever one had the higher penalty plus 1.
okay.
So there is a specific way to make it last a bit longer, but generally that's very fiddly. You do a lot of combinations.
You're talking about that stack overflow trick?
I don't know about any stack overflow trick. I just meant like as long as you keep them equal, you can like both sides equal, you can effectively get more value out of it.
Well, yeah.
Can red alert go any higher, or is 3 max?
4 is the max.
Okay.
All the protection enchantments that I added get max out at 4 just to stay consistent with the vanilla stuff.
Okay.
I'm curious about this Stack Overflow thing. About
I don't know the details, but there's some trick that made it possible to essentially cheat out the
What the heck?
sorry, I just don't know the details. It's just I know
Okay.
that there's an exploit that lets you bypass anvil costs.
I bugged
Very
it.
specific
that-
conditions.
I'm so annoyed. I actually bugged it.
Oh, what happened?
how so?
So I didn't even combine them, but I was looking at the cost and I decided, oh, I'm going to look at books. And before it cost 7, but now it's costing 14. I never made the combination.
Yeah, try putting them in the other order. So there's a somewhat
Okay.
convoluted formula that determines how much it costs
Okay.
to add the enchantments to add the enchantments to an item,
Okay.
and as a result, adding one to the other can vary significantly in price if you flip it around.
Okay.
A plus B equals C, but B plus A equals D, and makes very.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just jank, painful jank.
Okay.
I need
Okay, so
some
I saw people are going to
this.
bed.
Oh, I should probably
yeah.
go to bed. I'm getting attacked. 1 second, let me defeat this phantom on me.
I forget, does Red Alert protect durability from also? When
Okay,
it-
go to sleep.
Indirectly, but yes, because
okay.
durability ends up being checked. Yeah, when armor is applied against damage, which happens after enchantments are,
I'm removing this chair because this
which
chair.
amusingly enough just means a protection item. It ends up having a higher effective durability.
You know what? I am actually. I only have like a diamond pickaxe. Should probably make more diamond pickaxe if I plan on increasing the enchantment stuff. Oh, yeah, you're piggy. And I will open up my chest. Okay, put my actual spleen in it. Take all the ender stuff out.
I haven't really gone mining since I haven't been lucky enough to get forge until recently, and then I haven't. I really should.
Admittedly, I've just reached the point where I've stopped worrying about having fortune before I go mining. I
do generally, but it's I'm lacking diamonds. Have not found.
ah
Unless I'm supposed to just travel everywhere, which makes
that though, Justin.
or loot everything.
If you're wanting diamonds, I'd be willing to share a couple with you. Yeah, as you know from my
Oh yeah,
experimentation with vaporous Volt, I got quite the payday.
yeah. I
What-
need to figure that out too.
What does Vaporous Fall do?
Vaporous Volt is a very dangerous throwable. When thrown, it releases a cloud that will expand rapidly and consume everything it comes
Oh
into
yeah,
contact to.
that. I remember that. Okay, yeah. I almost made that. I have Vol.
Oh no.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you. I'm just going to request very strongly that you do not use it, not even have it on your hotbar while you are in the house.
Have you accidentally done
Thankfully, no, because partially because I made the stuff and I knew exactly how destructive it was due to my testing. I have always treated it like it was radioactive.
More upset than that.
It's like a loaded gun. You do not put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to kill.
Oh, darn it! Out of my clippers. Forgot to leave my clippers. And my
Yeah.
my charm.
Yeah, if you poke around in the mines, you might come across a strangely shaped man-made cave.
Yes. Yozu the Diamondback.
I guess I can use.
So I found
No,
some extra
I mean-
horse armor if anyone wants it. It's iron.
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest. I've just never found horses worth the hassle in this game.
The only time I've found them worth the hassle is when you're doing a very long-term playthrough and you're traveling very far
Hmm.
somewhere new.
Another.
If you're not going through the nether. If. It's a big if.
Go add some gills.
So mid-long range, unlike nether portals, which is better for long range travel.
Gotta love gills. Yay!
They're quite powerful, and you got the big ones too, so nice.
I could breathe underwater. Don't need potions.
Admittedly, they are probably a bit on the overpowered side, but without breaking the parity they have with plain old lugs, I wasn't really seeing a good way to make them less powerful.
Hmm.
Because I mean, right now they are essentially just lungs, but they let you breathe underwater instead of out of water.
Question: Can I, for enchanting reasons, can I add an anvil, combine like a gold enchantment sword with a patet enchanting sword, and then they combined into
No,
the higher
the
one?
The items must match.
Must match. Okay. That's all right. So that means I really got to go find more diamond. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, that's part of why I've been reluctant to even start diamond armor, because my transite's already well enchanted. So
Yeah,
before I get into any of the
and I like
action
the
stuff.
the effect of the damage over time of patet. So I'm fine right now.
Well,
There's
Goal
more
and-
time to react to situations.
Hence, that's
and the sword does make it so you do lose some of your yacht, right? That's how it works, David.
No, that's the effect of using the tools to break stuff. The sword inflicts a percentage of the damage dealt as additional damage over time.
Oh, okay. It's cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess that would be a bit OP, being able to just return all the damage they dealt to you back at the sword.
Maybe a smidgen.
but yeah. When I start putting more damage, as they hit them once, then whatever damage I left, they could just bleed out. That sounds pretty nice. I'm guessing crossbows are just like their base. Like I can't add an ore to it to make it like a patet crossbow or anything like that.
No, crossbows and bows are just made of wood, and that's what you're stuck with.
Okay. That's interesting. Because like bows are hands down, they do like the material does mean how much draw power you have.
I mean, maybe if I actually got into coding myself, I'd maybe unofficially do like an upgrade.
You know
to it,
how
but
many iron bow mods there are out there.
I'm not
You don't need
not
to
an
make
iron
that
bow, I
yourself.
just meant like no, I meant like specifically with your stuff.
Ah.
Like you use a smithing upgrade with it.
I mean, I imagine because
and
actually
that'll
like
work with yours.
In truth,
bows actually use like different muscles, and
Mhm.
it's just one of those things where like when you're actually using bows, like you just if you want to build that certain set of muscles, you actually got to keep on using it to use that
Yeah.
certain muscles.
well, admittedly, if if I were to add essentially archery support for to hellish materials, I'd probably do it with get variant arrows rather than variant bows.
Hmm.
Actually, you know what? That would be a good
So
point.
like arrows crafted with a potet fragment
Yeah.
would
We'll create.
Lost
make-
arrows.
yeah.
You might as well just call it the Wabba Jabba at that point.
I mean, that's the Wabba Jabba at Ray. And I suppose for that I might need to find like ways for the arrows to act strangely or except it in like 9 times out of 10 if the arrow takes yeah, yeah, decides to act funny in a randomized way, it's just gonna miss.
Or you could also, because you are proccing effects into it, the moment you shoot, that there's a chance of like the random effect to happen right as you release. So
You could make it like the Ouroboros room from Isaac. It'll go all over the place, but occasionally it'll just hope. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking about that.
Sometimes it'll just seek and destroy, but other times it might just decide that gravity is backwards. Goodbye. Gravity is an invention of the man. Man. Don't let it bring you down.
repopulate before I bring you down.
And bold arrows would probably just. Well, I'd probably have to make them rather expensive because it's a recurring theme with Evolve that if you want to make a tool out of it, you need diamonds as a baseline just so that you have something that's not going to corrode through.
Huh.
Yes, that is one of the traits of Hold. Yeah, for all of its destructive power, it will not delete diamond or netherite.
You hit someone covered in netherite, and they take very little damage.
They actually heal. You have full netherite, you're trying to like get yourself out of limbo or something, you actually just heal yourself.
Well, I mean, it's still going to do bad things to people wearing this stuff, but it'll leave the armor behind.
Yeah, that's
Honey, I got meat.
also I noticed there's a lot of raw chicken prepped or cooked chicken if you need that,
Oh,
which you probably.
Your chicken device has been quietly chugging away.
Yeah, apparently so. I've seen multiple stacks of chicken in there.
The power of automation.
oh, wrong one. Mussels. Whenever I decide to have a sausage factory, I'll wait until my thing's pretty much just full of the stuff. Then I'll do a full sausage factory. Otherwise, it's just too much time.
Yeah, making sausage is more work intensive than making other foodstuffs. The main advantage the main advantage there is mostly that if you only have access to a small handful of critters, you can get a lot of meat out of each one if you take the time to properly gut them. And then And then, of course, rich sausage is the good stuff, and so if you would just hold on to it for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
Someone requested sleep, so I'm in the bed.
Oh, we're sleeping again? All right. And we sleep.
The classic ZZZ.
Dang it, farmer, why are you useless?
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I've been trying to set up the home for some villagers. I think I have it so the villagers will come out. I think.
Feel like you're a silly goose? Oh. Oh, are you just going to private server grind the new boss? All right, I will say after you defeat the boss one time, then we got to go through steps, okay?
I see Rob's blocking, yeah, Robloxing it up.
Yeah.
I don't want to cave in that tree, but I will also destroy my building.
That doesn't sound worth it.
Yeah. Also, David, is it intentional where if a arrow of
Get
drops from
that cave
above
in can
cave in-
collapse and cause further cave-ins? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the arrow can just keep bouncing down. And doing it.
In fact, if you use some way of shooting that allows the arrow to collide multiple times, you can cause massive cave-ins with it. I've had quite a bit of fun with the cave-in crossbow and some fireworks.
Sounds quite interesting.
All right. So, from experience, I have a diamond pickaxe Unbreaking 3. With that, should I still hold on to a second pickaxe just for contingencies, or is that just
An
enough?
Unbreaking 3 diamond pickaxe, especially when backed up by a maintenance charm, is going to last for ages,
Okay. Well, then I'll
if
put
not forever.
You know what? I'll just hold on just for this true contingencies. We'll see how long it lasts, especially since I'm going to be digging a lot.
Oh, if
Yeah,
you need
that-
digging a lot and you don't care about the items,
Oh.
I do have a gold pickaxe.
And so, unfortunately, Justin, well, fortunately, we got a lead on the source of the issue with the butchering knife.
Woo!
Less fortunately, it's because a Volt tool was causing drops, and so it would appear that the issue is with the modified drops API that I made just to handle those kind of effects.
Oh,
That both bots use.
well then.
Because yeah, Broheim found a Vol sword, went to ham on the enemies, and turns out he was still getting loot.
So, though actually there is a little bit of a catch there. Because of how the game handles dropping equipment specifically. Like, was he getting their base drops, or was he getting
Those
stuff
base
like
drops.
their swords?
Those base drops, certainly.
Okay.
That
Yeah, which means that
Interesting.
Volt is currently egregiously overpowered. Because the lack of drops is the one balancing factor that it has.
heck, the lack of drops is why I was using it.
Oh, I mean, I'm totally fine with it being fantastic for stuff like terraforming,
Yeah,
but
but
like that's just a good niche for something to have.
Yeah. Now time to now we just need to figure out why it the issue goes away when you relog.
Yeah. Like I was telling Corey, that this might be one that I had already fixed in a later version, just because I vaguely remember having to deal with this in the past, but
Yeah. But that's how it is with using outdated version.
yep.
Unless you backport fixes, and we're getting into support nightmare territory.
Yeah, frankly, I just don't want to do that. So I'd much rather just put that same development time into double check to getting to the updated versions and then double checking
Oh, yeah.
whether or not I had already implemented the fixes in those newer versions.
So
Yeah, I agree with that.
when it comes to finding diamond, deeper the better, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just go as deep as I can. Hello,
He
bedrock.
wants a couple bit above bedrock, but
Okay.
around that.
A little bit above bedrock, mostly just because so you can skim the lava lakes instead of having to punch through them.
Okay. Oh, I forgot my water bucket. There's been so much time in the nether that...
Where water buckets do nothing.
Yep. Would a potion of water, like just full of water, would that help if you're on fire? Now I'm thinking about it. If I just drink a water.
A splash potion would.
I see. So just drinking water does not cool off your
Does
skin
not
on
put you
fire.
out, no. But splashing yourself with a water bottle would.
Okay.
Incidentally, splash potions are made by using gunpowder at the brewing stand.
Hmm.
So if you just took a bottle of water and brewed it using gunpowder, you'd end up with a splash potion. Well,
Okay.
splash bottle of water.
All right. All right. I'm here. Water bucket.
You
Fire.
see-
All right.
Yeah.
The rooms have walls, but no ceiling yet. Progress.
All right.
See how many beds. I need.
So recently, I was able to get Sonic Adventure 2 Battle running on my PC.
Nice.
Nice.
So that's just been a nice nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
I've been forbidding myself from touching the Chow because I know what rabbit hole that is. But
It's like chocobos in Final Fantasy VII.
yeah,
All you're trying to do is get the golden chocobo so that you can travel and get a special materia Knights of the Round. I never did it because I just don't have the patience for that sort of thing.
So
Makes
here's
sense.
my question for you, David, since you probably did a lot of work. What's the
Sure.
difference between 2 Battle and Sonic Adventure 2 that's already on?
To my understanding, the difference is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle has has the whole PvP modes set up.
Okay.
Well, the base game doesn't.
Okay. Was there like no content additions outside of the PvP multiplayer stuff?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you're looking up timers. Okay. Oh, hello, hole. Thanks for dropping me, hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
digging straight down is pretty dangerous.
I didn't dig
for
straight
that.
down. It's just I did perpendicular, but just an autopilot went. But I can thank you for the bubble protection. Came in clutch.
Yep.
To continue.
Red Alert works so well against environmental hazards. Except lava. It does nothing there.
All right, I'm still making my way down. Don't care about that. This has clearly been explored.
I didn't finish all the. Whoops.
You know what?
Yes. Give me money in exchange for sticks. This is definitely a trade in your favor. Though I am actually going to turn around and you purchase some of the sticks, but with you get sharp bits attached to the end. Thank you.
Eventually, I'll make the stick thing, but
Oh.
not today.
And I'm making all the
Oh,
mistakes.
maybe today.
Speaking of
Depends
sticks,
on
I
how
forgot
fast
to come up with sticks. And they,
And they're just there just happened to be a Fletcher here, and so since the farmer refused to have a convenient farming recipe for me to take advantage of. Actually, the farmer does have a wheat recipe. I was trying to get the pumpkin recipe because there's pumpkins on hand here. But
Oh,
I do
for-
have a farmer with pumpkin.
For whatever
the-
reason,
the
all of
back.
Broheim searches is like making Brave do CAPTCHA. It thinks he's a bot.
huh.
You know what?
It makes me wonder, since my server hasn't been touched, if it's one of those things where it needs people in the server for
Oh
X
no,
amount
I
of
think
time.
specifically you've probably had people try to join like pokes, but since it's modded, it's less likely to get people.
We're talking about the Robies, not
Oh,
the Minecraft.
yeah. Okay, that one I'm uncertain about. I just
Yeah.
know.
They do have protections like that on the Minecraft. Not the Minecraft, on Roblox, where for like boss grinds shenanigans. Oh, there you go. He actually came. So yeah, it must be like 5 minutes in servers. He has to be in for him to spawn, something like that, probably.
You know what? Yeah, I'll keep it in the center of the. Oh, I get.
Sticks. Get a full stack of sticks.
Center. Yeah.
There we go. So as I find coal along the way, I can just make more torches. Heyo.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, outside of adding paintings or something that would make this look a bit better while still having the primarily cheap gray and black color.
So much what?
I'm just, like, trying to figure
Oh, block breaks.
out
I see.
what's up. Oh, you're right.
So he'll be a nightmare versus my life fruit guy. Especially if I try to ray him.
Do you want me to start paddling a boat that direction, David?
No.
This
Please
is
don't.
such a good friend. He's willing to bolt haul for you.
Just look, I've got my pocket dimension set up here. I'm just going to be.
Oh yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
can. Can you yoink villagers into your pocket?
I don't think so. I was more just going to essentially do my get my villager grind out here, get an adequate number of these books, and then continue on my way.
What a question.
Okay. It sounds
Honestly,
absurd.
it-
Except this
it
is
would-
the kind of mundane.
it would take less time to just take a spare villager in a box and repeatedly place and break his lectern until he rolled the right book. It would be a
Yeah.
lot faster to do that than to try to grab the guys from this village.
Yeah, that's fair. Since I do have a villager breeder, that should.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Actually, I just disconnect. Are you trying to go to sleep?
Yeah, I had been, but
I could just disconnect. Are you? Wait, me disconnect?
I don't think anyone else was sleeping. So
Okay.
I didn't even realize.
Here, I'll disconnect. Go
okay.
ahead. I'm in a safe spot to do it.
Oh, there are monsters nearby, so I also have to.
Oh, all right then. But yeah, I was mostly just laying in bed while I was getting a drink so that
Ah,
If other people decide to go to bed, it would work.
I see. All right, I'm back in.
Yep.
Let's see. I have
Yes, friend?
levers and iron door.
Oh, did they? They made your
We do 13
they nerfed your 3 sword style. Basic damage, basic attack.
I turn on my
Always sucks to have your favorite tactics nerfed.
Yeah, well, it was the newest build, like the newest thing they literally just added. They're like the Zoro 3 sword style,
Okay.
and so
Understandable it got nerfed then because generally the brand new meta of the week generally does do
Does
that.
a bit too well.
oh yeah.
Admittedly, that's one of the reasons why it would be hard for me to get back into Guild Wars 2 at this point, because I had spent a lot of time fiddling with and refining my character's builds, and there have been enough balance patches since then that they just won't play the same. In fact, last time I poked it, it was already like that.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that a little bit last time with Warframe for a bit. Too.
Yeah. Just one of the
remember.
issues that comes up with live service games, characters end up, at least live service games that that have mechanically intricate builds and stuff.
Yeah.
Characters end up becoming non-functional over time just because the game gets changed.
Oh yeah, I've definitely noticed that a really old Poe characters.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, just in general with Path of Exile, that
Yeah.
tends to happen because Path of Exile substantially changes the skill tree almost every season.
Well, yeah. That's also.
Oh, does it? I didn't know they actually they changed the skill tree every season. In PoE.
Well, it's generally less. It's generally not very major changes, but it does change mostly every season for like balancing or just meta shifts.
Or accommodating new features that need skill tree support.
There's a lot of things that haven't really changed in a lot of ways, but a lot of old characters get like some really old standard characters I had had a full passive reset because of that. Because what they used to have skills didn't exist anymore.
Yep. That's one of the things they do. Just whenever they make one of the changes to the passive skill tree, they give you the opportunity to do a reset, but the opportunity is lost if you spend any skill points before then. So it's not like you can bank the full reset.
Oh, this would be a lot faster with the shovel.
Oh, yes, dirt. Dealing with dirt is...
No, what is this? Oh, that's not dripstone. Oh, it's just, I just ran into a block of gravel. Might as well collect some of this.
That is part of the reason why I have my pickaxe be part shovel.
Ah.
Okay, now this is bothering me. Why is this stored this way and the other? Okay, now it's better. It was on the bronze side. How?
No, if I actually end up trying to develop that transite mod a bit more, I'm probably going to need to go through and give it a bit of a balance patch, because it is something of a mess right now. Not sure exactly what axes I would tweak, but
Oh, the axe gets super buffed in that.
No, like
Axes, so like
Oh,
direction.
because one issue it definitely has right now is if you make a fresh transite tool and then just immediately wax it,
mm-hmm.
it's netherite tier, and that's kind of ridiculous for something that you can achieve with a moderate amount of mining and a beehive.
Yeah.
Is there even a way to make it so on the craft action itself it gets
about to
the
beat 'em.
randomization?
Probably.
You have to be in hockey to do a lot of damage. No.
Yeah, I think I would just need to turn it into a special crafting recipe so I could apply NBT
Mm.
on craft.
Either that, or you could have it default added like mixed with something drastically default. I don't know about that one, though.
Well, that would still require the special crafting recipe because that would still involve applying NBT on craft.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, that's not
Although
the
I
end of the
think they
world.
do
I've done
now.
that.
Did you beat him?
I thought mods and even vanilla crafting recipes do that a lot more often nowadays with the data pack stuff.
I suppose I would need to see if the data packs actually support NBT in crafting.
No, when you're ready to go through steps.
Because
But
I know
yes,
about the ones where
special
it
crafting.
resets specific data. Self-crafting items, in a lot of cases, or bundles.
Just
So
know there was a
special
lot of flexibility for that step.
Special crafting recipes are a vanilla thing. It's just
Oh, okay.
yeah, like the crafting
And if I
recipe where you
remember right, after you're
combine
done, there's still that slice of pizza.
where you combine leather armor with a piece of dye.
Don't want
It would be
Okay.
one such case.
Okay.
Maybe it's Little Caesars.
I just,
I'm surprised.
I thought you meant like specialized in like you'd have to custom code it or something.
There would be some custom code involved, but yeah, I just would be extending the special crafting recipe class, not really breaking new ground.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's a lot less worrisome. Then. And since effectiveness is now on tags, are you able to change the tags on the fly as the web tool changes?
I
Or
know,
that's
dude.
That
special code.
that might make it very. That's a good point. I don't think I've progressed Transite to that particular update yet, and that might actually be very troublesome.
While making my way down, I found a pretty nice
I was
pocket
just
of
thinking
diamonds.
Tags like when I F3 and look at a block,
Oh.
it just says
I also have a
added tag,
contingency.
Minecraft
So
compatible pickaxe.
But no,
no, I
modifying
can.
tags on the fly are not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that's the hope. As long as nothing nothing like
Yeah, you
does
probably
like
have to
a
make
full
it so
heart
you
amount, like a
like
full life
the
amount of
NBT
damage.
on the tool
And that's the
itself
beautiful
be
thing
like,
about batets.
Hey, we have these tags.
Which I have a bunch of batet if you want to make armor with that. Give you a little bit more survivability. You'll be able to hold on to your loot a little better. Well, what's great about batet is everything that happens to you does slowly do damage to you. Like you will never just lose your full amount of HP. So no matter what, you could use a contingency charm to bring you back. And then
It's a rather nice synergy there. Yeah.
So it brings you, no matter what, you're brought back. Even if you die when you're brought back, but you're still brought back. And then you could just then respawn, collect your goods, and try again. So I mean, it's almost having keep inventory enabled, almost.
Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah.
See store for details.
Well, I do want to mess around with. I'll let them breed up. I'm gonna be AFK for a bit. Grab my dinner.
Okay. You still there, Justin?
I think he
Yeah,
just left.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, I'm about to leave.
Okay,
too.
I was going to ask you, did you see what I put for Great Friday? And I was going to see what you thought.
If it works for everyone else,
You're down?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. All right. That's all I want to ask. You-
So Justin, I suppose while I still have you,
Yeah.
how many books of Unbreaking 3 do you think I should gather up? Because I've got 5 of them so far.
let's see. Assuming for everyone, I have no break-ins. Maybe 8. That'll be like 2 sets of armor, and we can spread it around a bit, and we can eventually get more unbreaking books by the time we need more.
Makes no
I'd assume.
sense.
And
Right
now
now,
I'll
I'm
be
basically just
back.
working a tree farm, but then selling the sticks to into a Fletcher.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yep.
Oh, I guess. So there's a Fletcher villager that you could sell sticks to, and he'll give you diamonds for.
Emeralds, but yes.
Emeralds, I mean. Okay.
He also buys gravel, which is nice.
Huh.
So,
What's that?
I mean, not gravel. He buys flint, but you know that's derived from gravel. And
Yeah.
since I have a Fortune 3 pick shovel thing,
Mm.
that makes getting the flint out of the gravel very easy.
Does Fortune also, like, you bring 1 gravel, it gives you 1 gravel, will it then give you a chance of giving 2 or 3 gravel blocks? Or is it just the spawn of flint that has giving you a chance of extra of?
The effects of fortune are yeah, yeah, are set individually per item, but the general pattern is if an item drops itself or something that can be turned back into itself, it is not affected by fortune.
Okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
In
Is
the
it-
case of things that might drop a derivative but will normally drop themselves, fortune generally increases the chance of it dropping the derivative instead.
Okay.
So like normally gravel will drop flint 10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Fortune 3 brings that up to 100%.
Oh, wow. I hope you don't need gravel, because it sounds like you're just getting flint.
Correct. But flint is what I need out
Oh.
of this, so it works.
Here, should I disconnect? Or is that just Justin sleeping?
That was me sleeping.
Okay. Justin's gone now, so it doesn't matter.
That's it. Yeah. If he's AFK, then that's not going to work. Oh well.
So would you suggest that I'm like about like three over like bedrock for start going hunting diamond?
Um, I don't remember the exact number, but I think -48 is my preferred elevation because that's also the elevation that air starts getting replaced with lava.
Okay.
So when you're hitting the lava lakes at the bottom of the world, you'll be skimming the top of them instead of having to risk your tunnels getting flooded.
Okay. All right.
I suppose the diamond density is slightly lower there, but you lose a lot of time having to work around the lava, so
That makes sense. So 48 the best elevation for just efficiency.
in my opinion.
Diamond, yeah. Oh. Is this an explored hole? Yes, it is. Nonetheless,
That diamond shape seems awfully peculiar. That might be the start of the vaporous
Yeah,
mine.
the good part of the underground that I devastated while looking for shinies.
Yeah.
Just Control Alt Delete the Earth.
All right. How many lecterns do I need? Because I did write it down. How many I wanted to reach. Okay, so I'm gonna need.
A nearly infinite number, frankly. Because
Yeah.
Spellbound adds like 50 enchantments to the game at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I need a cartography pole. Grab you. Do I even have paper?
Yeah, if you don't have paper, that's very easily fixed. We still have a reed farm.
Sounds like we do then. I'll bookmark that.
Have made the reed farm a fair bit smaller than it used to be, just because not nearly as much need now that now that we've got the bookshelves up and running.
Yeah, that's fair. Iron. Melt. All this. Uncooked iron also. Idle. F. Click. Oh yeah, I made a
mining.
transite pickaxe to try to get efficiency on this fortune. It is slow to mine.
Given it's a fortune pick, yeah, efficiency is probably your best bet. Yeah, demolition would do pretty well too. Widened would actually be pretty well because it functions like a vein miner in a lot of ways. Except I don't think widened is in this particular version. I think that was added somewhere in the 1.19s.
Because you're getting I'm not a robot captcha.
I mean, this is 1.9.
How long does it take to
No, I
go
think this is
through that?
1.18.
Oh.
Give us. For some reason, you're just triggering that. Sorry, man.
Captured.
Yeah, for some reason on Brave, his multiple searches has brought the browser to think he's a bot. So it's making him do the CAPTCHA.
The search engine, you mean?
Oh,
I
well,
don't think the browser itself would.
Oh, that's true. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah, he's doing the search.brave, so yeah, it's... Yeah.
It's too bad there aren't any villagers that buy copper.
That one's like also for a decent price, too.
Also, I suppose I never did get around to get into adding the black market villager, or who deals in organs.
That will be... You should definitely add that.
Careful.
But You should be able to like. It should be like kind of semi-neutral plundering space if you're gonna do plunder space if you're gonna do that though. Or he should be like part plunderer. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah,
he's-
have him show up like a wandering trader and have some sort of AI where he will opportunistically gank other villagers.
yeah, a gank or like. It also might be for a drawback. There's a higher chance of having plunderers show up at your area if you keep the trader there.
I don't see that happen very often, but maybe. The guy is very good.
I suppose that would be funny if
Yeah, a wandering trader who is considered aligned with the pillagers, and so like iron golems will just attack him on sight. Yeah, and if he sees a villager alone, he will go ahead and just borrow a kidney, or maybe a lung.
Or he might just trade them out with zombie pieces, you know? He serves freshly sleepy pies. People have been finding themselves getting very sick after being hosted to one or two of his dinners. For some reason, Charlie Goes to Candy Mountain is on replay in his house. You ever seen that?
What? There's nothing wrong with Candy Mountain.
Yeah, remember the part at the very end? Like, oh,
of course I recall.
they took my spleen, something like that. They took my kidney.
Yeah, it was the kidney. Yeah, stealing kidneys it's the way. Just how that goes. They're just so fungible. Gosh, why do I still keep harvesting copper like it's an actual valuable? Especially now that I have fortune. You're making like 6 pieces of copper ore fills up a stack with
Oh, yeah.
raw copper. Yes,
I find it.
because it multiplies very well with fortune.
I have never gone going this lateral in mining and just not finding a cave. Like, I have probably...
Caves are less common that deep.
How deep are you?
I'm 48 deep. According to David, it's his most preferred...
Negative 48?
Negative 48, yeah.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, that's the line where air starts turning into lava. So the lava lake depth, and so it's about as deep as I'd like digging, because any deeper, you start having to actually deal with the lava.
I need to chop some more trees. For the wood, for the light.
Oh, yeah, man, this pickaxe has like almost gone down no durability.
Yup.
That is just beautiful.
Turns out, only losing 1 durability for every 4 blocks helps.
And you got 2 maintenance charms. I mean, it's like the only thing that doesn't have durability. So, I mean, both maintenance charms are depleted, but they're just both focusing on that pickaxe.
All right. Okay, I think I'm gonna call this
What?
good enough soon. Just because I'm getting tired of yeah,
Oh.
of just grinding these villagers.
I just heard lightning.
Yep.
Indeed, I also did. That is because I do believe there is a thunderstorm happening. I just can't see it. So
Okay, okay, and is it going through your microphone or is it in game?
It's in game.
in game.
Okay.
Nah, it in real life it's snowing though. At least
Oh,
here.
is it in central? Oh yeah, we have no like we're 3 hour, 2.5, 3 hours away, and it is just rain here.
Yeah, it's been snowing for a fair
R-I.
bit, and the snow's sticking, which is exciting.
Yeah. RISER.
At least you guys took the cold back. Maybe a little bit too much of it. It's 50 degrees outside. Here.
Nah, it is
But-
well below freezing here, and I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, like therefore, like maybe it was last weekend or the weekend before. Like it went from like 50 degrees during the day. One day it hit -10. Like just one day in middle of noon, and it was like, what? Where'd all this cold come from? And then it went away the next day, and it went back to like 50 degrees again. All the cold came in and at a lump sum payment and left.
I have no idea. I don't remember the name.
I give it was enough for 10 lecterns. Hopefully. Definitely isn't enough books for 10 lecterns though. Actually, it almost was. What a surprise.
It's interesting that I'm hearing the thunder, even though I'm like so deep in.
I think thunder can be heard
Yeah.
at pretty much any elevation. Just one of the game's quirks, I guess.
I think it's a global sound pretty much in a lot of cases. No, it isn't a global sound because I think if you're I don't think David heard it. Did you?
I have been hearing thunder, but don't know if I heard the same thunder or not.
Yeah, we haven't been hearing it over here very much anymore, so I don't think.
Yeah, the weather is a global state, though. It is either precipitating, since in some places it snows instead, or not.
You know what? I am down to 16 torches. So I might as well, and I have tons of sticks. That's right.
You
to
will
go-
be
Nice.
going up quite a bit
Yep.
for coal.
Yeah, cold pretty much stops spawning when you transition into deep slate.
Yep. Man, look at this tunnel. Because I literally have ran into nothing. No caves.
That's disappointing.
Look at this. It's just,
It just keeps going.
I feel like I'm playing a Doom video game at this point. All right, I'm going to go
Well, you
up.
need to turn up your FOV all the way for that.
It is up, unless the system. Yeah.
You do have it on Pro.
Of course, you get to see more with the highest FOV. Yeah, field of view means literally like. Most likely, my character has like his eyeballs out like a deer, but nonetheless, I get to see more.
Yeah.
It would be hilarious if the game visually changed your sprite based on your field of view.
Like, it's like the eyeballs are just barely on the edge, just enough
Yeah.
where you still get to see your nose, but
her her eyes were like the stars of the sky. Yeah, not because they were beautiful, but because they were so far apart.
oh, okay, okay. What's the best iron elevation again?
Roughly
High.
40.
Oh, we just deal in 40s here. That's funny. So either I stake to -40 or +40. Check. Oh, I'm so irritated at myself that I messed that up.
Admittedly, for getting iron in particular, I prefer caving to tunneling.
Gonna find a
Because
cave.
iron gets eliminated from the caves a lot less than diamond does.
Hmm.
All right, all these are placed. The doors are wide open, so I guess I'll just start
Yes.
positing villagers into this area.
Who? Oh, sports. Oh, everything you're searching for. Okay. This cave is just close enough to 240 that I'll just stick to it. Oh, hello, iron.
Oops. I shot my airline and I accidentally beamed a cow in the back of the head.
No, so Sportsman Warehouse is going to be a lot more expensive than, but it's not going to be cheaper than Amazon because Amazon. I mean, I can't. You won't be able to test the reliability on it on Amazon if it's not name brand. Even that these days is questionable, especially when it comes to electrical goods. Red Dot Sites is electrical. It requires a battery. The dot, like,
What is?
and then you're doing literally doing like glass magnification, things like that. Well, to get the actual dot, it is like it's. Oh, you want a Z? All right. Z away, friend. Let me know when you're asleep.
The
Night
day has
skipped.
passed. Thank you.
Okay. I don't need a refresh. I literally, it's saved as local host. There we go. Now I got some enough coal. There we go. Yep. I'll just get some more coal. If actually, I'll just use that stack of 24 first. Oh, I am. Oh,
Also, kind of recently, I picked up an N64 flash card, and that's been entertaining to mess with.
Oh,
Ah, nice.
I just need an expansion pack, and then I can start doing either
Yeah.
randomizer stuff on the console, or I could maybe I would look into making a homebrew or something for once.
hmm.
It'll be fun.
No, I've seen it. I'm like going for all of it. This is a really awesome vein, both iron and coal.
Yeah, I'm going
Okay,
to stop
this
at
is-
7. I'm done with the grind.
Brain
I did not.
can't handle more. There we go. Flint. Got 23 stacks of coal. That should be enough.
Oh, it's. Maybe I need to make this go a little bit.
He said we'll
higher.
talk about it when we get home. You want me to tell you that? Yep.
Do I need an activator rail to?
Mm. So you're saying like this? Do this on the way.
Okay, let's see. I got my dimension
at-
door.
Or is -40?
Make some spares while I can. Wouldn't do to get locked out of this place again.
Oh, did you kill the? Oh, I see. You're trying to get out, so the computer thought you were trying to shut it down. I mean, that's all you, dude. That's not the computer.
I'm salty.
You silly goose it, so it's the computer's fault. You will take the blame for my incompetence. Oh. No, that stuff got all eaten.
Oh, I have it too.
You ate it, and me and Logan ate the other. It was a group effort.
I definitely need to get back to base. I have 40 levels.
Oh,
Oh my.
hello. Just one diamond, and oh, never mind. There's more diamond. Yes.
Free.
Oh wow. Swift Sneak allows you to build bridges across gaps so fast.
What does?
Nice.
Get the Swift Sneak enchantment.
Hmm. That
You
makes
don't
sense.
have to do some speed bridging shenanigans either.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've learned that's a thing. Apparently.
Are you doing the MLG people who do the like bed wars and the speed bridge?
See, I have no idea what most of what you said about that outside of the speed bridge, and that's only because I just learned it was a thing because there was some people not being happy with them trying to remove it early.
Oh, oh.
What caves?
Finally found a cave.
Your quarters are actually on.
You there?
Eh.
Be a little cheap.
Okay, well, I want to go through that dimensional realm more. Going to need to bring some
Think you've been
supplies.
here before? Oh, there's a torch. You leave lava. You know what? I would like to start actually carrying some obsidian. I'll go.
Right there.
Oh. Why that one just turned to block? Not actually obsidian. Oh, is it only lava that is okay, so it's lava, it's like starter lava that only turns to obsidian.
Yes. And flowing lava just becomes cobblestone or
Okay.
stone, depending on context.
All right. I can ignore this.
Yeah,
Get,
the gravel is helping you, to be fair.
it is showing me iron right there. That's iron.
Ah, fire attack.
Oh,
Don't get caught
There we-
that's the same cave. Want that? Oh,
It's a lion.
was a raw iron block?
Oh,
I didn't
I'm
know
sure
that
my
can
internet-
actually.
Oh yeah, every
Oh.
once in a while, these really, really large kind of spider webbing veins of iron spawn, and the blocks of raw iron can appear in those.
Yeah, I got a full slap 10. That was nice. Oh, block of raw iron.
Incidentally, that means that you're in the midst of one of those spider webbing veins, so you might want to just strip mine the whole area.
Oh. So kind of like really make a big hole, just really explore.
Yep. Oftentimes you won't be able to visually see the next block because they're connected diagonally, but
Ah. Aha.
Iron! Iron!
Oh. What a fun little thing. Diagonally connected blocks. Was not expecting that.
that actually happens pretty often with ore. So if you find what seems like a very small vein, try knocking out the blocks that were adjacent to it. You might find a bit more of the material.
Okay. Duly noted. I had a lot, but you know, I used it. Oh, hello there.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
So 2.
And that is a
Surgical
big fat
3.
vein.
Yes.
So this is the sort of knowledge of why, like, probably just obviously time and skill and experience that you have, but like I didn't know that. So whenever I find an iron ore, I'll be like, look at adjacent blocks. Never thought of looking at diagonal blocks. All right. Oh shoot. Oh, where's my original? 40. Here we go. That's 40 over here. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I forget, did they ever actually implement the nerfs to all the specific protection enchants that version? Like 120, like 1 or whatever.
I wasn't aware that they were planning on nerfing the specific protections.
I think it was like a parody thing, but it like
But-
fire protection isn't like you have to have the full set for the fire tick reduction that you used to have with one piece of gear.
But they're already bad. Why would you make them worse?
Would you like me to disconnect?
You don't need. I'll just jump back.
you need me to, go ahead. Gladly do it.
Oh, I should just have a
For me,
bunch of
connection
people
takes no time for obvious reasons. So
Honestly, I thought it was a reasonable system that they had it where you had one piece of specialized stuff and the rest base prots. You would at least get 80% with the specialized thing, but you know you're taking a lot more damage for the rest than if you just had straight prot. Why would they nerf that? Yeah, I don't like it. I prefer. I suppose I prefer my way, anyways. Of having protection enchantments that don't explicitly single out your various effects. But their various interactions and mechanics make it so that some of my protections are better against some effects than others. Like Red Alert is generally really good against explosions,
mm-hmm.
but kinda useless against fire. Or how Grace and Flesh Wound both perform very well against fire and projectiles.
And Grace is good against fire and stuff.
Yes.
Starting to see why miners back in the Wild West will just get bored, and a lot of debauchery that is associated with the Wild West is a thing, because this is just, even in virtual, just mining a tunnel of nothing, hoping to find something. Oh man. Oh, hello there. What does this mean? Oh, it's a crystal.
And yeah, what do you hop off?
Oh, you mean
Also, if you
Here you go.
crystal buds that have an X on them, yeah, it's good now. Try to avoid breaking them.
if I see things with an X on it, try avoiding breaking it. So I'm guessing boom boom.
Well, no, specifically when you're
You see the crystal? You see the one with that looks like it has an X on it?
Yeah.
so basically crystal growths can grow out of those particular ones, but yeah, if destroyed, they will not drop, or at least they won't drop with the ability to grow buds. So since those crystal growths are the primary value of a geode, they can
Okay.
be broken into amethyst um that's quite handy. You really want to protect the blocks that can grow the buds.
So don't break this block, but it's okay to break this block.
I'm not looking at your screen at the moment,
How
but
did you get out?
probably.
So these pieces are worth a lot. Amethyst shards.
Um, they they have uses.
I see.
Like there are some
Spyglass.
automation stuff that you can do with it.
A crystal chest. Interesting. Oh, it was all the way
Oh.
after diamond. Dang.
It is not an upgrade. I will
I
warn
think
you.
a crystal chest has the same storage capacity as a diamond chest, but you can see what's inside of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
How did you get out?
Yes.
All right. Well, you know what? I would just collect these if you guys really.
Yeah. It also has uses for stuff like tinted glass, which is glass that you can see through, but that blocks light from passing through it.
I'll just collect these for you guys. Right now,
Well, thank you.
my brain is still working. I'm set on getting good gear right now.
Okay.
Well, my goal is to get it beautifully enchanted to beautifulness. So now leave this be, so that and then it will regrow.
Yeah.
What is resurfacing?
Resurfacing is a repair type enchantment. When the tool breaks, a resurfacing item is put into the resurfacing item pool.
Oh,
When
yeah,
I-
it's that one.
Yep, whenever a new chest is opened for the first time, it will attempt to put something from the resurfacing pool into the chest.
The adventurer's
Ooh,
repair.
well, now that's dangerous. I just found a golden helmet of Warlike 4.
First malpractice. How about no?
You ready to go through steps?
No, I don't want.
I'm not sure if a boat or airline is faster when going over ocean.
Now only if you could airline while in a boat, and you drag the boat with you.
I don't think airline works while you're mounted, but you know what? I'm going to give it a spin.
Probably not, but if you can make it
Nope.
drag the mount itself, that'd be definitely. Mounted airline. No, we're not doing like special interaction shit stuff.
So
Try to
netherite.
avoid being. Sorry,
Um,
could you repeat that?
Oh, I was going to ask. So netherite is something that you upgrade diamond stuff to.
Yes. There's a particular block. I forget the name at the moment, but it's like the armory block or something, or forging table or something like that,
Hmm.
where you can combine certain materials with tools in order to upgrade them. I think by default, netherite's actually the only thing that can actually be used at those tables, which is kind of a shame. But Vault does use the same system.
Okay.
So, diamond equipment can be upgraded either into netherite or Vault
Okay.
equipment.
I do think other uses for it is added later on, but at this point in the game, yeah.
Yeah, when they added armor trim. Yeah. But unfortunately, when they did that, they also made it so that you needed to use special armor templates in order to make netherite armor, which was freaking lame.
Not only do you
I
have to
missed that. I
grind your
just
way
thought
to
it
get
was
enough
funny.
pieces
A
to-
creeper blew up behind me, and there's a creeper in front of me. It's just, I literally just got. Luckily, the first creeper exploded, and the heart bubble thing blocked it, so it did nothing.
Round him.
But the second one was no problem because at this point, going against creepers isn't too hard.
You know how they function.
Yep.
Ah, right. This is how you airline correctly with the bow. Because for some reason, bows have relative velocity with their arrows, but crossbows don't. So if you want to fly fast with them, you have to approach it slightly differently.
This cave is a
Oh, that covers so
bust
much
of
distance.
bust. Literally nothing in it besides just two creepers who decided to say hi.
That's lame.
How sad.
They appear to be home.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah,
I
it's a small.
see. Yeah, I see that a house has been upgraded since I was last here. Looking much better. Nice. Oh, and somebody built a mansion over the tunnel. No, maybe not a mansion, but yeah, that looks nice.
Nice. That must have
Logan
been
finally
Justin.
moved out of homeless shelter into mansion maker.
I got literally forced into a house.
Oh,
That's
you
funny.
have a house now?
I guess from what I'm gathering from what you said and what Justin just said, putting the two together.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Logan
no.
made himself.
Oh,
but
Logan
he
did.
got-
Oh, I see.
No, I'm not going to make your house for you. Half of Minecraft is engaging in
Oh,
interior and exterior decoration.
yeah, I just misunderstood the two things. 'Cause I thought like all of a sudden something was made, and then system deduction. It's only Justin and I and you on.
No, I just haven't been at base in a long time.
Yeah, he got pulled away during
Oh, that's
Friday
true.
for obligations.
The heck.
I hope everything went well though, David.
It did.
Okay.
I need to compress some of my diamonds into blocks for storage
Where's my
reasons.
hole? That came from.
Isn't that a wonderful problem to have?
I am taking this wheat and I am
Oh, there
not
it is.
going to be breeding the animals with it. Instead, I am trading it for money.
You okay, Justin? I mean, David?
He
Those are
dares use the
stuff.
wheat for something other than. How dare! How dare!
5 minutes.
How dare you!
Long form game.
I don't have a stick trader yet, so no easy money otherwise.
I mean, making a Fletcher stable is really easy. So.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
did make one. I just don't have the villager.
I'm gonna close that
doing
right
it.
now
Ah.
since I'll attack that cave after steps.